Hello students, welcome to my channel Biology Foundation. This is part 4 of Unit 4 Health and Hygiene. So in the previous classes we were discussing about the factors which basically affect our health. Where first we discussed in detail about balanced diet, and we looked into how sleep and exercise also plays an important role in maintaining good health, and we discussed about personal hygiene. And in personal hygiene, that means we have to take care of our body, keep it clean, and follow certain good habits, incorporate them in our lifestyle. And in personal hygiene we discussed about oral hygiene, eye care, and hair care. Right. Today, let's talk about another factor which plays a very important role for maintaining good health. That is community hygiene. Okay. Now, when I say community, that means community refers to group of people who are living together in a particular place. Okay. So if you are eating good food, sleeping on time, following good habits every day, but the surroundings around you are not clean, then you might fall sick. Okay. So when I say community hygiene, that means keeping your surroundings clean. Hygiene refers to cleanliness, and not only keeping your body clean, that is personal hygiene, but even your surroundings must be kept clean. That is what is actually community hygiene. When I say community, it's group of people who are living together in a particular area, so it's very important that we keep our surroundings clean. Okay. Now here you can see a locality where the surroundings are not at all clean, right? And here you can see how the roads are maintained very clean, and there is greenery around and such a peaceful environment, right? So what could be the main cause, or what are the factors that are responsible for unhealthy environment or for the surroundings to be very dirty? What could be certain factors? First is increasing population. Okay. When there is more population, then there is more burden for natural resources. That means for water, for food, for everything there is more competition or more burden for the natural resources if the population is very high. That's first factor which actually can account uh, as as a factor for unhealthy environment or surroundings which are not kept clean. Okay. So because of growing population, second thing is overcrowding. If houses are very close, then there are chances that the surroundings are not kept clean. And third important thing is, if the people usually who live in rural areas, they don't have proper sanitary facilities. In order to go to washrooms also, they usually go to the open fields. Even that is not considered healthy. Okay. So a house must have proper sanitary facilities. So not having proper sanitary facilities in the house is also another factor which contributes for unhealthy environment. Okay. And fourth is dumping the garbage, not in bins but just in open areas. Okay. Now we all know that, maybe you have learned it in your lower classes itself when you were in grade 1 and 2, that whatever waste you have to throw it in the bins, right? But when garbage bins are either kept open, or if the waste is just dumped in open areas, then also there are high chances that the those areas become breeding grounds for your flies, mosquitoes, cause various diseases, and in turn the people living in that community, they can't stay healthy and fall sick with many diseases. So it's very important that we keep our surroundings clean. It's very important that you must eat healthy diet, you must sleep properly, do adequate amount of exercise, and keep your body clean. But apart from that, even your surroundings must be kept clean. Okay. That is what is known as community hygiene. What is community? Group of people who are living together in a particular area, they are considered to be a community. Now maybe you might have seen there are a group of apartments, they form a community. Whenever there is a festival or something, they contribute together and celebrate it in a big way. Okay. Where all the members of the community, they come together, they collect the funds and celebrate the festival. Okay. You might have seen this. So in the same way, when I'm saying community, they are group of people who are living in a particular area and they're living together. Okay. So it's very important that we maintain community hygiene. That means cleanliness must be maintained even in the surroundings that we live. Okay, and what could be the reason that the surroundings are not clean? Those are listed. First is overpopulation, which can burden the natural resources. Second is overcrowding, which can result in poor and unhygienic living conditions. Thirdly, people living in rural areas, they don't have houses with proper sanitary facilities, as a result of which they usually go into the open fields. And fourthly, dumping the garbage in open areas, which can act as breeding grounds. That means it attracts flies, mosquitoes, and other organisms, which can result in diseases. Okay, so since we know that community hygiene is very important, just now we have seen what is community, what is hygiene, why community hygiene is very important. Now, what does or what do villages and towns do for this community hygiene? Personal hygiene means okay, it's in my hands. I have to take care of myself. When I say community hygiene, it's an effort of a group. Okay, if like for example, when I say personal hygiene, that means you need to bathe regularly. You need to brush your teeth twice a day, rinse your mouth after uh, eating anything, trimming your own nails. But when I say community hygiene, that means not only you have to throw the waste in the bins, even your neighbors should throw the dust or waste, whatsoever it is, in the dustbins, not outside. Okay, that is what is community hygiene. Community hygiene, where it's a group effort. All the members of the community must follow regular practices. Okay, so to maintain community hygiene, usually in villages, you have this panchayats. Okay, they are the civic bodies. They take certain practices. They take certain steps, or they create certain awareness activities where they call all the people of the village and make them aware, or they conduct certain programs so that the whatever problems the community is facing, these panchayats, they take them into consideration and see that all the members of the community are kept healthy. Okay, try to understand, when I say community, group of people who are living together in a particular area, when the community is facing any problem, whether it can be water issue or any issue, they usually in villages, the problem is reported to the panchayats. Okay, now what do panchayats do? They call all the people, they try to solve the problem and see that whatever problem is told by the villagers, they provide a solution to the problem and see that the members of the community remain healthy. Okay, now in cities and towns, we have municipalities. Like under the GHMC or the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, you have around 27 to 28 municipalities. Okay, because Hyderabad is a big city, right? So you have 28 municipalities, and each municipality looks over a particular region and sees that any problem that arises in that particular locality is provided with a solution, and all the members of the community remain healthy. Now, what facilities that does or do these municipalities or panchayats or the civic bodies actually provide to the people in the community? The first thing that they provide is safe drinking water. They see that all the members in the community get an access to safe drinking water, because we all know water is something which is very essential. We can't survive without water, right? And it's the basic need of any individual. So the municipalities or the panchayats or any civic body sees that the members of its community get an access to safe drinking water. Okay, and second thing is they also see that there is safe disposal of wastes. We all know that we generate a lot of waste, right? I hope you know sewage. When I say sewage, it is nothing but human excreta, animal excreta, human urine, all that liquid and solid substances in the drainage pipe. Okay, they should be treated before they are just released into water bodies. Okay, so any municipal system, municipalities or civic bodies or panchayats see that every community is provided with the safe drinking water. And second thing is they see that there are proper drainage systems and proper sewer systems. Okay, apart from that, it's the responsibility of the municipalities or the civic bodies of that particular town or village to provide people with parks, gardens, okay, vaccination facilities, healthcare facilities, and to see that the food is not adulterated. It is not adulterated. Adulterated food means food which is mixed with chemicals. Okay, the food that is mixed with chemicals, is it good for our health? Obviously no. Okay, our organs might get damaged because of the accumulation of chemical rich food. Instead, we have to eat natural organic food items. Okay, so the village panchayats or the town municipalities, they see that all these facilities are provided to the members of the community so that they stay healthy, of which two main needs or basic needs that are provided to the members of its community are safe drinking water and proper drainage and sewer systems. Okay, apart from that, they give other facilities as well, like parks and gardens for recreation purpose, vaccination facilities, so that, like for children, like polio vaccination, we all know, right? It's very important. So vaccination drives are conducted regularly. Healthcare is given to the to mothers, pregnant women, or even for the child care, for the neonatals, that means just newborn babies also need good care, right? So the healthcare is provided to such members. And there is no food adulteration. No food adulteration means the food is not mixed with chemicals to enrich its quality or to enrich its taste. That is, they see that the food is not adulterated. And even wastes are separated as biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Maybe when you were small, you might have seen that wastes were separated as dry waste and wet waste, right? All the dry waste are kept in thrown in one bin, while the wet waste is thrown in the other bin. But now we'll later talk about what is biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. But these are certain facilities which are provided by any civic body. Okay, and here it is, this is the picture of basically drainage, underground drainage pipelines. Okay, so all these facilities must be provided by the municipalities. Now, even in your locality, if you have any problem, like for example, if the garbage is just not being taken by the GHMC people, or if the garbage is just thrown in the open areas and there is a huge heap of garbage lying in front of your house, you can just go and complain to the municipal corporation that no one is coming and collecting the garbage, no one is taking care of the garbage. Why? Because if you neglect it, what will happen? Soon, house flies, mosquitoes start coming. As a result of it, you get various kinds of diseases like jaundice, malaria, dengue, etc. Okay, so in order to keep our community safe, it's very important that the members of the community are given access to safe drinking water, proper drainage and sewer pipelines, healthcare system, vaccination, good food, provide them with proper parks and garden areas for recreational purposes. Okay, so as I told, the two basic needs that any municipal system provides, or any civic body provides to its members, is disposal and treatment of waste, and second one is safe drinking water. So let's first discuss disposal and treatment of waste. That means, I already told you, we generate a lot of waste. Okay, either it could be vegetable waste or animal waste, vegetable peel waste, fruit peels, animal waste, or daily, we know that we our body, once it eats food, digestion happens. After digestion, the unwanted material, unwanted substance have to be removed from the body, that is excreta. Now, what happens to this excreta or the urine which is present in the drainage pipes? Can we just release directly them into the rivers and the oceans? No. Why? Because rivers and oceans get polluted if these sewage wastes or the drainage waste are released into the water bodies. Then water cannot be used for drinking. So what should be done? So how what actually happens to the waste that is generated? First is sewage treatment. Try to understand, when I say sewage, it's nothing but the liquid and the solid particles present in your drainage pipes. Okay, the human excreta or the animal excreta, urine, all this constitute your sewage. So how is it basically treated? Firstly, what they do is, your sewage has both liquid portion and solid particles in it, right? Or the solid waste in it. So the liquid portion is separated from the solid portion. Okay, liquids and the solids are completely separated. Where the sewage, with you have your drainage pipes, right? Inside this drainage or sewer pipes, you have your sewage. The sewage consists of liquid portion as well as the solid waste in it. Now, the sewage is first sent to sewage treatment plant. Okay, you can see here there is a sewage treatment plant. Okay, in the sewage treatment plant, what happens is, whatever sewage is present is, it is separated. liquid portion and the solid portion. Now what they do is, this solid portion, it is allowed to dry, and they use it as manure or fertilizer for your crop field, for your agricultural field. It acts as a natural manure. Okay, try to understand. Your like the sewage contains liquid portion and the solid portion in it. The liquid solid portion, whatever is present, first, the sewage is sent into sewage treatment plant. In the sewage treatment plant, there is separation of the sewage into liquid and solid portion. The solid portion is first dried, and it is used as manure, natural manure to your agricultural field. If you add this manure, nicely crops can grow instead of buying chemical fertilizers from the factories. What happens to the liquid portion? These liquid portions are sent into to water purification systems. Okay, because this liquid is full of chemicals, microorganisms and all, right? So it is filtered, the water is filtered, and then the what once the liquid portion of the sewage is sent into the water treatment plant or water purification or water filtration system, water gets purified. It is removed, like the water is completely removed, is devoid of all the microorganisms and other particles, and now the water is good for drinking. Okay, so first is sewage treatment. So how, there are various ways how you can dispose the waste. One way is sewage treatment, where the waste which is generated, which is present in the drainage pipes and in the sewer pipes, it is sent into sewage treatment plant. Okay, in the sewage treatment plant, what will happen? Separation of liquid and solid portion takes place. The solid portion is allowed to dry, and it is used as manure, which can be used in agricultural fields. What happens to the liquid portion? The liquid portion is sent into water treatment plants, where all the chemicals, all the microorganisms are killed, which might be present in the water. Those are killed and the chemicals are removed. Now the water is safe to drink. Okay, this is one way how the disposal and treatment of waste happens, that is sewage treatment. Second is dumping. Dumping is another method. In dumping, what they do is basically in open areas, large open areas, in big open areas, they first dig pits. Can you see these pits? Okay, they dig many pits like this. In these pits, they basically dispose, or they bring all the sewage waste and dump into these pits. Dumping means putting all the sewage waste into these pits. Pits, I hope you know, creating pits is nothing but digging the soil very deep. Okay, first they take large areas, big open areas, and start making pits. That means they dig the soil very deeply, and then dump all the sewage waste in the pits. Okay, once they dump the sewage waste, what they do is, then they cover it back with soil again. Completely the pit is covered with soil, and after some time, over 2 to 3 years, they wait for 2 to 3 years, and later in these open areas they construct buildings, or they create parks, shopping malls, gardens, something of this sort. Okay, and during this process, what happens is, we all know soil has what in it? Microorganisms, right? In these microorganisms, if you remember, you might have bacteria and fungi. These bacteria and fungi, they decompose the sewage waste which is present inside the pits and converts it into natural manure. Okay, so that is dumping. So first method is sewage treatment, where the sewage is taken into the sent into the sewage treatment plants. There is separation of solid waste and liquid waste. The solid waste is dried and used as manure, while the liquid waste is sent into the water treatment plants, and where the water is completely treated, so that the chemicals are removed and the microorganisms are killed, and it is safe for drinking. Okay, and it is properly filtered. Okay, only then it is safe for drinking. The other method is, people take open areas, they, in these open areas, they create pits by digging the soil, dump the sewage waste, and again cover the pits with the soil, wait for 1 to 2 years, and then try to construct any buildings over these areas. Okay, and third method is composting. Okay, now, before composting, before we understand what is the step, let's understand two terms, that is biodegradable and non biodegradable. Okay, when I say biodegradable waste, Now we all know waste. Like for example, here you have vegetable peel waste, fruit peel waste, right? Leftover food. You have all these items. Okay, these are biodegradable waste. Why am I calling them biodegradable? That means when you take these waste, put them in soil. Okay, today for example, you took apple peels, onion peels, then cabbage peels, eggshells, all this you have taken. You created a pit in your garden, put all these peels inside and covered the soil back. Okay. After 2 years, when you come back and see the same place, you won't find these onion peels or the eggshells or your apple peel waste or the cabbage peels. What actually happened is the bacteria and the fungi which are present inside the soil, they break these peels of fruits, vegetables, and convert them into nutritious manure. Okay. And the soil becomes rich in manure. That process is called composting. Now, such substances which can be basically decomposed by bacteria and fungi, they are called as biodegradable wastes. Is it clear? Try to understand. Like for example, you this you can do at home itself, where go to a nearby garden, create two pits. Okay, in one pit, add eggshells, orange peel, apple peel, or guava pieces, something like this. Vegetable waste you can put in one pit. In the second pit, put plastic bottle, plastic can, metal cans, plastic bags. You can put them in the second pit. Okay. Now, after like 6 months, you can again come back to the garden, see the same spot. Okay. Then you can observe that in the first pit where you have put all these peels, fruit peels, and vegetable peels, you can't find them any no more. Like they are not found. That's because the microorganisms present in the soil, basically your bacteria and fungi, they break these fruit peels and vegetable peels into very small substances and decompose them. Okay, converting them into manure. In the second pit, what actually happens is those plastics remain as it is. They are non biodegradable. They take years for decomposition by bacteria. So, biodegradable wastes are those wastes which can be decomposed by microorganisms. Non biodegradable are those which cannot be decomposed or may take millions of years for their decomposition. Decomposition means breaking those complex compounds into very simple, tiny uh, compounds, resulting in manure formation. Okay. So when I say composting, the other method is, what basically they do is they take the sewage waste. I hope we are not deviating from the topic. We are talking about how to dispose and treat waste that is generated, which is basically sewage. The first one is sewage treatment, second one is dumping, third one is composting. In composting, what you do is again you create a pit, okay, and dump all your sewage in it. Okay. And during this process, sometimes people add earthworms. Okay. Then we call it as vermicomposting. Okay. When earthworms are added into the pit, and these earthworms, they help in uh, decomposition, and they feed on the sewage or the vegetable waste or the apple peels or fruit waste. And once they feed, they release the excreta. That excreta acts as manure in the soil, and this manure you can use for agricultural fields later. Okay. So if in the compost you're adding earthworms in order to increase the rate of decomposition, that means within short time you want the decomposition to happen, then basically vermicomposting can be done. Okay, where earthworms are added, then you use the term vermicomposting. Normal composting, naturally it's done by the bacteria and fungal organisms which are present in the soil. Okay, where they break down these substances and convert them into manure, and this manure can be utilized in agricultural fields for proper growth of the plants. Okay. So for community hygiene, as I told you, community hygiene refers to keeping our surroundings clean. Okay, where it's a group effort, where all the members of the community must agree and see that their community is kept clean to prevent any diseases or to prevent the members of that community to fall sick. And for the community to be safe and healthy, it's usually the responsibility of the panchayats and municipalities to see that the members of the community are fit and see that their surroundings are clean. So they provide with various facilities, of which, see, proper disposal of waste and giving safe drinking water are the main basic needs which are provided by the civic bodies to the people. So first, here today we discussed about disposal and treatment of waste, how the waste which are generated, whether it is animal waste, whether it is plant waste, okay, or the sewage, that means the liquid and the solid portion present in the drainage pipes, basically your feces and urine, how are they basically treated? So first one is sewage treatment, where all this sewage from the drainage pipes, it is sent into the sewage treatment plant where it is separated. The solids are dried and used as manure. The liquids are sent into water treatment plant, and then the chemicals are removed. Microorganisms are killed from the liquid portion, and the water is completely filtered, purified, and it is safe for drinking. Second thing is dumping, where in open areas pits are created, the sewage is put, and the pit is covered, and after few months or years, these open areas are built into shopping complexes or shopping malls, parks, gardens, various buildings. Third thing is composting. When I say composting, before composting, we need to understand biodegradable and non biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste are the waste which can be decomposed by microbes like bacteria and fungi. Okay, so the waste get converted into manure. Now, this process of conversion of the waste into manure is only known as composting. Composting can be done by bacteria, fungus, and if composting is done by earthworms, then you use the term vermicomposting. But during the process of composting, manure is generated. This manure which is generated can be used in agricultural fields for proper growth of the plant. Instead of buying chemical fertilizers, manures can be added, which are natural and they are safe for the plants. One more important thing is recycling. Just now I told you, you have non-biodegradable wastes like plastics, glass, certain metal items. They are very difficult to be decomposed. They take millions of years for the bacteria to decompose them. So in such cases, you can recycle them. That means recycle these products to make another product. Like for example, if you are using plastic bottles and all, you can send them send them to recycling factories, where again you can get new items from the same plastic. Okay, instead of burning them or throwing them, use the plastic to generate another item. Okay, or use the glass items to get another item. From the glass bottle, if you recycle, you might get glass jar or something, or from the plastic bags you might get plastic bottle after recycling. But the quality of the plastic will be not of very high quality, because you are recycling it. Just like maybe you might have seen papers which are recycled. The first paper might be white in color, but as it is recycled, it becomes yellowish, brownish, right? In the same way here also, as the plastic or the metal item is recycled, it loses its quality as well. Okay, but recycling is much better, so that instead of dumping them in the soil where it takes millions of years, you are instead recycling the products. But it's safe not to use non-biodegradable products. Instead, use cloth bag or something of that sort. Okay, metal bottle. Clear? So recycling of waste can also be done. Now, one more facility which is provided by the municipal or civic bodies, whether it is municipalities and towns or the panchayats and the villages, is safe drinking water. Okay, and it's very important to understand that water which is available in the lakes or water which is available in the oceans is not safe to drink. You can't directly drink the water present in the oceans, rivers, or lakes, because it might be salty, or it might be basically these water bodies are rich in microorganisms, so there is a chance that you get contaminated and you might fall sick. And even water from the pipelines is not safe for drinking. You can't directly drink water from the pipes, because the underground pipes, the you get water from the underground, right? So the pipelines which are present underground, if there is a leakage, okay, if there is a leakage in the pipelines, they might come in contact with microorganisms, and thus water can get completely polluted. So it's very important that always the water that we drink must be properly purified and properly filtered. So, water must be sent into the purification and filtration systems so that it is safe to drink. So, never directly drink water from natural water bodies like rivers, lakes, ponds. because there are numerous microorganisms and chances that it can contaminate our body. Secondly, water from pipes or taps, directly from taps, should not be consumed because the pipelines carrying this water, there are chances that underground pipelines can have leakage where they might come in contact with certain microbes. Then it is not safe for drinking. Okay, so it's important that the water before you drink it is either purified and or filtered. So, what is potable water? When I use the term potable, that means water which is safe to drink. Water which is safe for drinking is called potable water. Now, I have water in the oceans, water in the lakes, water in ponds, but can I directly consume them? No. Just now I told you why. Because they might be rich in salts, various salts, or they are very rich in microorganisms which can contaminate, which can cause contamination and in turn infection in our bodies. So therefore, this water should be treated, should be purified, should be filtered, and then only it is safe for drinking. Safe to drink is called as potable water. Okay, how can I make water safe to drink? The water which is present in the oceans and present in oceans or lakes or ponds, how can I convert it into a purified water? Firstly, boil water. Boiling is very good. Okay, by boiling you kill most of the microorganisms. Like boiling is at a temperature of 100 degrees, so you have to boil water for minimum 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, and boiling is safe. It kills most of the microorganisms. But before boiling, first the water should be filtered. Okay, so after filtering, you can boil the water. Sometimes people also add chlorine tablets in the water tanks. Okay, in the overhead head water tanks, chlorine tablets are added. These chlorine tablets, what do they do? They basically kill all the microorganisms. So one way is boiling the filtered water. Secondly, chlorine tablets can be used. They kill the microbes. Thirdly, water purifiers or good water filtration systems can also be used. Okay, but the water purifiers that you are using must be of good quality so that the salts are filtered, microorganisms can be filtered, and whatever water you are getting is safe to drink. That's the reason some people, what they do is, even after filtering, they boil the water. If the filter is not really functioning properly, or it's not actually removing all the microbes, then by boiling, what will happen? It kills all the leftover microorganisms, and now the water is very safe to drink. Okay, so filtered water can be boiled. Adding chlorine tablets, which basically kills microbes, that's another way. And thirdly, you can use water purifiers or filters. Maybe you might have seen most of your houses, you might have these water filters or purifiers. Never your mom will give you direct tap water to drink. Maybe the tap water is connected to filter system. If you are directly drinking tap water, maybe the tap water pipeline is linked or connected to the filter system. That's how maybe you will drink directly tap water. Or sometimes most of the houses, they have this filter system where the water is filtered to see that the salts are removed, microorganisms are filtered, and then the water is safe to drink. And in some cases, when the water is very muddy, okay, then you add alum into it. Okay, a chemical alum, ALUM. Okay, now this alum, when it is added into this muddy water, all the muddy particles they get settled. Okay, and then you have clear water here. This clear water, it is directly, you can't drink it. Okay, you have to take this clear water, send it to filtration system again. Okay, uh, put it in the filter. Then once the filter removes all the particles, microorganisms in it, then it is safe to drink. Okay, one way is boiling, second way is adding chlorine tablets which kill the microbes, thirdly using filters, fourthly if the water is muddy you can add alum to it. Alum, what does it do? It basically settles all the muddy particles, and the clear water, whatever is present, you can't drink it directly. Instead, what you have to do, try to understand, if this is your water with muddy particles in it, when you add alum crystal into it, what will happen? All the muddy particles settle down and clear water is present here. Collect only the clear water. Now this water is not safe to drink. You can't drink it directly. First put it in the filtration system, water purifiers or something, then the water is safe to drink. Is it clear? And safe drink most of the towns, okay, or I mean big cities, they usually have purification plants, okay, where the water is purified and before it is supplied for consumption, okay. Whereas in villages, people do this method of adding alum or chlorine tablets are added to the tanks, or even now, like present day, we can see that most of the people have these water filters, which basically help in filtering the water from various microorganisms and even salts, okay, which are harmful for health. So these are ways how you can make water potable. The water which is present in oceans and lakes is not safe for drinking because of two reasons. It is rich in salts, rich in various chemicals, and also many microorganisms are present in this water, which might not be safe for our stomach or for our body. Therefore, to make this water which is present in the oceans and lakes as safe drinking water, you can use any of this system. You can use filtration, adding chlorine tablets, boiling the water after filtration, adding alum, and then doing filtration can be done. Okay, and we have discussed in detail about the treatment, disposal and treatment of waste either by sewage treatment, dumping, composting. We discussed about how bacteria and fungi play a role, and if we use earthworms for composting, then you call it as vermicompost. And I say vermicomposting, it's the process where you take the vegetable peels, fruit peels and all, okay, put it in soil, like create a pit, then put all your vegetable fruit peel in it, add few earthworms. What do earthworms do? They feed on this fruit peels and vegetable peels. They excrete waste substances. That waste substance is only compost that can be transferred into agricultural fields as manure. And when you are using earthworms for composting, then you call it as vermicomposting. Okay, so that's it for today. So in today's class, in detail, I have discussed about how community hygiene also plays a key role in order to see that we maintain fit or stay healthy, or for a good for our good health, not just eating proper food or sleeping well and doing adequate exercise. It's very important that we see that our surroundings are also kept clean, okay. So since surroundings, when I say surroundings, it's not just you, even your surroundings must be kept clean. So it's a group effort where all the members of the community must stay healthy. So that's the reason you have civic bodies and panchayats who see that whatever problems that the members of the community are facing are brought to their notice, and they see that the basic minimum facilities are provided to the members so that they are all healthy. And two such facilities we have discussed, that is safe drinking water and proper disposal and treatment of wastes, okay. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment it down below. If you like my content, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Biology Foundation. Okay, so that's it for today, students. Any doubts, don't hesitate. Feel free to comment it down below, and enjoy the process of learning. Bye bye. Have a good day.